Sam Grover from Madison. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Chairman Quinn, and members of the committee. My name is Sam Grover, and I'm an attorney for the Wisconsin-based Freedom from Religion Foundation. I appreciate having the opportunity to testify before you today. Assembly Bill 206 came to the Freedom from Religion Foundation's attention because it has no legitimate secular justification. We've heard extensive testimony so far today on why this bill should not be passed. It proposes to undermine the education of students at the UW School of Medicine and Public Health, jeopardize that school's accreditation, and potentially exacerbate the shortage of qualified obstetrics and gynecology providers in the state. But the only argument in favor of the bill appears to be based on a vague and contrived belief that abortion is evil. This bill is little more than a religiously motivated attack on one of our state's most desperately needed secular institutions. We ask that you put an end to that attack. Since the time of Copernicus, when the Catholic Church suppressed his heliocentric model of our solar system, religious institutions have had a long and fraught history of undermining science education that conflicts with church doctrine. To this day, including 7 times this year alone, the Freedom from Religion Foundation receives complaints about public schools teaching creationism in science class in an effort to undermine students' understanding of evolution. But the religious patriarchy's attacks on the teaching of abortion, a safe and widely needed medical procedure, are particularly troubling as these attacks not only impact our quest for knowledge, but also real women's bodily autonomy. This bill is religion at its worst. It advances the church's agenda with no perceivable public benefit through a 2-pronged assault on science education and women. Shortly after the launch of the organized women's movement, almost 170 years ago, Elizabeth Cady Stanton noted how, quote, "the Bible was hurled at us from every side." It was churches, Catholic, fundamentalist Protestant, and Mormon, that marshaled opposition to defeat the Equal Rights Amendment in the 1970s and 80s. And it has been religious voices that have decried the, quote, evils of granting women that most important and basic of rights, the right to choose if and when to become a mother. As elected representatives, FFRF asks that you divorce yourselves from this most shameful church history. For government officials to advocate a biblical viewpoint on matters of family planning and women's rights is a disregard for the enshrined principle of state governance free of religion, as well as a woman's right to govern her own body. You have each taken an oath to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin. FFRF, on behalf of its more than 1,200 Wisconsin members, encourages the committee in furtherance of that oath to legislate based on facts, data, and scientific consensus. It is not legislators' prerogative to advance their personal religious beliefs through bills that impact all citizens, many of whom practice a minority religion or no religion at all. Thank you for considering this testimony.
Thank you for your testimony. A lot of it mentions, a religious component. Do you or your organization recognize that there's support, for instance, for like the Hyde Amendment for other reasons non-religious, that maybe some people may have a scientific belief that at some point that is a life? I mean, does your organization recognize that at all? Are they supportive of like the Hyde Amendment or not?
Our position is that it is not the legislature's prerogative to legislate within gray areas. The only motivation for cutting off access to abortion that's been considered in this assembly has been based on religious motivations rather than scientific data.
Sure, thank you. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.